When we're all ready? When we're all quiet?
I am.
Chloe Swarbrick.
To the Prime Minister, e tautoko ana ia I ngā kōrero me ngā mahi katoa a tōna kāwanatanga.
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Yes, and especially our action to crack down on criminal activity and restore law and order. Kiwis are sick of the large discounts and the short sentences regularly handed down, even in instances of serious offending. And the good news is that this week the Sentencing Reform Bill will return to the House for its third reading. And that bill will cap discounts and bring in tougher consequences for serious and repeat offending. And it doesn't stop there, though, for convicted criminals.
I'm sorry, that last part of that question, the answer is not acceptable. So we have no more of that. Chloe Swarbrick.
Do the companies that the Prime Minister is asking to build our schools, roads and hospitals want to make a profit?
Well, they may well do, and I would hope they would want to see a return. But what I'm excited about is that there is massive interest from investors who want to build public infrastructure in New Zealand, and the benefits to New Zealanders economically, socially and environmentally are profound. If we can pull forward infrastructure development, get more roads built, more wind farms built, more energy delivered, that's only good for New Zealand.
When our country has to pay for the profit of shareholders on top of the cost of building public infrastructure like our schools and hospitals, does that equation ultimately cost New Zealanders more or less?
This is a strange line of questioning, and it just speaks to the degrowth agenda of the Green Party. The degrowth agenda of the Green Party. Not only do they want to abandon prisons, but they now don't want to grow the economy. And I'm just, that member, we want investment in this country. It is capital thin. We need to get public infrastructure built. We want to get on and actually get projects built, and private companies and our growth sectors need support too.
Will the profit that the private companies make through his government's intended public-private partnerships stay in Aotearoa New Zealand or go offshore?
Well, again, our focus is on attracting investment to New Zealand so we can get public infrastructure built. The member seems to be confused about how economics works. We want New Zealanders to get ahead. We need them with more money in their pockets. We want them to have higher standards of living. And one of the ways we do that is we attract investment to New Zealand as well as use domestic pools of capital as well.
The Honourable Chris Bishop.
Is it government policy that profit is a good thing or a bad thing?
Profit is a good thing.
Does the Prime Minister accept that his plans for public-private partnerships will ultimately then cost New Zealanders more and send that profit offshore?
No. We are looking at the right funding and financing tools and mechanisms to support the right infrastructure. We need to get a lot more infrastructure built in this country. The member may disagree with us, but we are going to grow New Zealand because it's good for New Zealanders. And part of that is getting infrastructure built faster, quicker. And if we can do that in partnership with private capital, we will.
The Honourable David Seymour, you all right? Questions are heard in silence. I thought there was an issue down there. No, just a minute. These little digs across the House are not acceptable, particularly from government ministers having a go at opposition. And it's also a trend that I think, I beg your pardon? That would be a good thing to be. It's also, I'm not saying it's a trend, but there has been a little bit of a move towards personal reflections, which are completely unacceptable under our standing orders. So they are to stop. Chloe Swarbrick.
Who can borrow money cheaper? The private companies that the Prime Minister wants to build our public infrastructure, or the government?
Again, as I've said to that member, we're going to find the right funding and financing mechanism that supports the right project. But I make no apologies for wanting to partner with private capital, international or domestic, to get things built for New Zealanders. You may disagree with us ideologically on that point as a degrowth party, but we want growth in New Zealand. That's what we're going to do.